I'm a great champion of the idea that there ought to be greater diversity in newsrooms. We are an industry which purports to tell the world, kind of in a veiled way, how it ought to live. In fact, the world doesn't like to be told that. And we like to pretend that we're not actually doing the telling. But in fact, what we have as a responsibility in a constitutionally protected profession is to make sure we're telling the story as clearly and as cleanly as possible. So one of the things you have to bring to that is people who come from different backgrounds. When I covered the scandals of the Department of Housing and Urban Development when I worked at the Washington Post, I dare say I was the only reporter covering that who'd ever lived in public housing. So when they talked about publicly subsidized housing, I knew what they were talking about. I knew the people who lived there. I knew it wasn't just the stereotype. And it's the same thing. If all you have covering the news, presenting the news, deciding what is news most importantly, are white males or people who come from a common experience, you're going to see only the things reflected in our news coverage that is of importance to them. That's why it's not only important to have me in front of a camera, but it's important to have someone in the front office who's deciding what is important. This race conversation that we're having in the United States right now, or that we're attempting to have, is happening because the President of the United States, to his credit, has decided that it's important. And once that decision is made, and then we begin to truly integrate our different experiences.